victims and monsters. And the trick is not to end up as either. But trapped by the genre, we're all ripped to pieces along the way.
No! I'm assuming you're catching up with the ongoing Gamescom since a few days ago, so in that case, number one, we have, plenty of news on Alan Wake 2. And who would have thought it's actually releasing on October 27th this year? That is on PCs and the next generation of consoles only, as we suspected. You see, Remedy actually released about 10 good minutes of new in-game footage with ray tracing, 4K, DLSS, all 9 yards. Alan Wake, the sequel, if you need a memory jog, is an action survival horror, story-heavy narrative in nature.
No! You've got the wrong band! It's my fault! It got out!
Wake has a double. Where is he now?
I don't want to be in the story, just write me out of the story.
Coming from the same studio behind Those Who Remain, at number 2 we have the company's most anticipated title from earlier this year, something here going by the name Beneath. It's a first-person action horror, adventure, and a thriller, and I read it somewhere it's basically a mix of Outlast with Subnautica, if that even makes sense. Anyway, we got a new trailer for it to keep up the hype. The game is now coming to PCs and the next generation of consoles only in the first quarter of 2024.
Guessed it. This is the legendary Cursed Bridge. The challenge is to count the staircase and see if there's an extra step.
After announcing its physical editions a while ago, East Asia Soft and Softstar Entertainment finally announced a release date of August 30 for Switch, the PlayStation and Xbox consoles, in addition to a final patch with English voiceovers on PCs for Bridge Curse Road to Salvation. Assuming you missed this one, which is by the way available through a demo you can try, it's dope on Steam. It's a cinematic, rather movie-themed atmospheric horror game with legit jump scares. Check it out.
Why did 10 become like this? 10 cursed. It's not. It's not. Why? Leave me now.
P-Cube just announced a sequel to the very well-received Silent Hill-inspired / Resident Evil classic survival horror game Tormented Souls 2. Said their new game will now be coming to PCs in the next generation of consoles and a release date early to mid next year. Guys, if you have missed out on the original game, all you really need to know is it's got every bit as good component of a Resident Evil classic. It's won awards upon release, and this is really how the new game will eventually look. I believe the first time we're mentioning it over here. Number 5, we've got over here Retrieval, a cinematic horror action adventure game from a new developer in town, and this is the first work too, in which the player will follow the journey of a commander of a research team on a planet about 18.6 billion miles away from Earth, whereas the protagonist, you see, suddenly falls due to an unfortunate event under the surface of her own planet and sees this, which is not what you want to see anyway. Game's a little bit like Returnal. You know Returnal? It's a PlayStation to PC exclusive also, and it's gonna be released next year.
Help me! Please don't leave me! What the fuck are you doing to them? They're starting to shake! Get the fuck out of here! All this to start our new life.
Supermassive Games, on the other hand, same developers of Dark Picture anthologies, went on and did the most unusual thing. They actually took over the rights to Little Nightmare series from Bandai and is apparently developing a new entry in the series. Little Nightmare 3 will this time be a co-op multiplayer if you desire. It's coming to PCs and all consoles, even Switch, early next year.
So, your uncle. What's wrong with him?
He says a dark man is following him.
Coming up behind that is, well, one of the biggest surprise reveals of THQ Nordic Showcase from last year, Alone in the Dark, which is a reimagining version of the first 3 games in the original series that were released almost like 30 years ago. They're being built from the ground up now, and set to be released October 25 this year, and to accompany the great news, we got a new trailer for it too.
Let's not waste any time, Detective.
Yeah, you're right. Let's go get your uncle, Miss Hartwood.
It transports you into the dark alleyways and into the night.
I mean, it's always trying to create a mystery, right? Something that's more than just jump scares.
A bit of fighting, demanding.
Coming up behind that, we have another Resident Evil / Silent Hill inspired in the making game that goes by Post Trauma, where it's a survival horror game where you play like a 57-year-old man who has awakened in a pretty strange place and now has to find a way out of this home and out into his family. There's more in the story than this. I mean, the trailer here, we got a new trailer. The game is available through a demo and it's gonna be coming out between January to March next year. I believe the last time we actually mentioned this game was around the same time last year.
Just do what I say, Roman.
Free of pain, free of hunger, and above all, free of death. Why did you make me come back here?
Only here will you find what you need.
Unholy, however, is available on Steam also through a demo, and the previously announced release date of July, assuming you knew already, went on and got delayed to an unspecified date within 2023. Guys, Unholy is, I don't think I'm alone saying this, maybe the best game in looks that we're looking at over here, one of them at least, on the horizon, but only that. The gameplay seems to be just fine. Playing the demo, I'm saying, which we're gonna have to just wait a little longer to find out if the game's legit.
Actions will shape a new, better reality. This looks like punishment, not freedom. Come to the spring of eternity. Come and open your eyes. Open your eyes. Open your eyes.
Nacon just announced a delayed release date of September for Ad Infinitum. The game's not going to be released later on this month. It's now coming to the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PCs only, and a little later apparently for the past generation of consoles as well. Ad Infinitum is a first-person survival horror and a surreal nightmare, as its developer stated, where the player takes on the role of a German soldier in the First World War who has to go through his own mind to figure out what's reality and what's madness.
And what about the rumors?
Eleanor, they're just that. They're rumors.
Stauff has spent his fortune wisely. Never mind the smell.
Coming from the same team who brought Arizona Sunshine and After the Fall games, we've got over here another virtual reality game in the making since last year, going by The Seventh Guest VR. It's a PC to PlayStation 5 VR exclusive. It's also playable like a normal game without VR support. The story is about 6 people, or 6 guests, that have been invited to a very fancy mansion. Here's the thing, I believe it's a mix of gameplay of the Room games, specifically the last one that was made in VR, with the game 9 Hours, 9 Doors, and 9 People. This beast of a new IP is releasing October 19 this year.
Not one was ever seen, but old man Stauff is waiting there. Crazy, sick, and mean.
Coming from the same people who made Phobia, the fine survival horror game with a lot of rewards, June last year, we've got over here the company's next survival horror game, which is being developed using Unreal Engine 5, and a rather atmospheric than a survival puzzle horror game. There's something going by the name Project Ayala. Here's a trailer, some gameplay, in case you missed it. The game was revealed a month ago. It's coming to PCs and the PlayStation 5 only next year.
Oh, those film students and their ghost sighting video.
No way, Mrs. Wong. That's exactly it. If I can get something, the story is gonna totally go viral.
Number 13, with a demo on Steam on the way, we've got over here the sequel to the one and only game that we mentioned, The Bridge Curse, Road to Salvation. If you do like Japanese horror and atmospheric cinematic games, if you didn't know, The Bridge Curse is GOAT even through its demo. After all the positive reception that the first game's got, they actually are making a sequel to it, even though the first game isn't even released fully on consoles, and this is how it'll eventually look. Take a look.
What the hell's down here?
Hello? Hello?
She wants to eat me. There's blood everywhere.
I'm up at 1-5 University. I saw a ghost. The hell happened here?
You are mine. This building traps the souls of all who die here.
Forced into being a mere bystander, seeking redemption for the hell that she set in motion.
Been in the making for over a year now, revealed again a couple weeks ago, in case you missed it. We've got over here Stray Souls. This is a psychological survival horror adventure and a story-focused game that was announced in 2020. Stray Souls is being developed using Unreal Engine 5. It's going to be coming out by the end of the year. It is set to combine Japanese survival horror elements with Western thrillers and some hefty amount of puzzles.
every fire out.
On November 3 this year, we can actually have hands on Quantum Error, one of the most awaited survival horror and Unreal Engine 5 made projects that was actually scratched from the ground up a couple times to make it graphically look much better, and now finally using Unreal Engine 5, like I mentioned. Anyway, the game is no longer a PlayStation 5 exclusive, it's going to be coming to PCs and Xbox Series X as well, and to accompany the great news, we got some more gameplay for it too.
The fireman mocks my powers.
Where is the bomb? I don't know!
Where they failed, I now succeed.
So frail.
The human body is such a feeble little thing.
Jacob, you must hurry. We cannot let him escape this time.
Don't you die on me.
Coming up behind that, it's the sequel to an almost 7-year-old survival adventure, or rather thriller, an investigation murder mystery in field game that was quite a bit well received on Steam. The company just came up with the word that their new game over here, Kona 2 Broom, continues the story of the interactive tale of Kona and offers players another story arc and a bigger world, better visuals, and it's even going to be coming to consoles simultaneously upon release. Available through a demo at PC exclusive at number 17, we have Horror Stories Harvest Hunt, another single-player stealth survival horror that blends the replayability of roguelikes with the tension of a mainly horror game. Meaning, each night of this game of Hunt delivers a pretty unique, terrifying experience which requires strategic approaches, some calm nerve, and a lot of survival instinct. Check it out, game's releasing fully next year. And last but not least, we have Digital Cyber Cherries' finally revealing a new gameplay trailer for Paranormal Tales, showcasing some of the best things you're going to see today for months in horror gaming because it's using Unreal Engine 5 and more. Paranormal Tales, for those of you new, is a PT-inspired, next-generation or technically PC-exclusive body cam style horror game based on found footage with retro elements. Check it out, game is going to be coming to PCs only later on in 2023.
Please, God, no.